Work is getting more managed. Not in a dramatic sci-fi way, in a slow, practical way. More measurement, more pressure to adapt. More rules about where and how work happens. And more decisions being justified with AI, even when the real drivers are cost, risk, and control. This week's stories fit together better than they first appear. They all point to the same thing. Trust is becoming operational. It's being built or lost through systems, not slogans. Welcome to Paper Cut. Start with HR and the state of the workforce. A lot of people teams are trying to rebuild confidence in the basics. When organizations talk about AI and analytics, it's easy to assume they mean new dashboards. What they often mean is something simpler and harder, making decisions that are defensible under uncertainty. And uncertainty is everywhere. Engagement is down. Employees are tired, managers are stretched. When engagement slides, organizations lose the benefit of the doubt. Every new rollout is interpreted through suspicion. Every transformation message is heard as more asked of you. On top of that, skills are shifting quickly. Companies are rewriting job requirements and saying they need new capabilities. But there's a hidden risk inside automation. De-skilling. When tools take over routine work, people can lose chances to practice the fundamentals. They may look productive in the short term, but become less capable over time. That is a talent risk, not a technical one. Now add the worker side of AI. A striking story this week is that people are using ChatGPT not only for work tasks, but for labor market navigation. They're asking about wages, about what's fair, about how to negotiate, about how to interpret their situation. That tells you something important. It tells you there's an information gap. People don't feel confident that pay systems are clear or that progression rules are predictable, so they look for a second opinion. At the same time, the labor market feels cautious. Hiring isn't collapsing everywhere, but it isn't flowing either. In those conditions, leverage shrinks. People compromise more. Some take pay cuts, some stay put. And when the market tightens, every process becomes more consequential. Pay transparency becomes a trust issue. Promotion criteria becomes a trust issue. Internal mobility becomes a trust issue. Then there's the return of monitoring and tougher expectations. One of the most controversial patterns in modern work is when companies introduce monitoring or measurement and present it as care. Sometimes that's genuine. Sometimes it's mainly about control. Either way, employees interpret it through trust. If they think it's there to help them, it can work. If they think it's there to punish them, it becomes corrosive quickly. The same applies to office mandates and relocation requirements. When a company tells remote employees to move, it isn't really talking about collaboration. It's talking about power. And that power shift changes employer brand faster than any marketing campaign can fix. Candidates hear about it. Employees talk about it. It becomes part of your story whether you like it or not. Even the softer flexibility trends like microshifting have two versions. There's the version where it's healthy autonomy. And there's the version where it's a coping mechanism for work that no longer fits into a stable day. Which version you get depends on what managers reward and what they expect. Now zoom out to the talent war and the narrative battle around AI layoffs. On one side, we have scarcity stories, retention incentives, aggressive competition for key talent, promotion gates tied to AI skills. The message is, if you want to progress, you need to change. On the other side, we have the layoffs narrative. Leaders debating whether AI-driven cuts are inevitable, and commentators trying to normalize the idea that job loss is the price of progress. The risk here is not just the cuts. It's the story being told about them. If people believe layoffs are inevitable, they stop investing in the relationship with their employer. They become transactional. They become guarded. They leave as soon as they can. And then we get to the week's cut list. We're seeing hiring freezes, ongoing restructuring, layoffs across multiple divisions, and organizations rebalancing their workforces. Even when the overall labor market looks stable, sector-by-sector volatility changes behavior. People stop taking risks. Managers avoid making commitments. Hiring slows because confidence is low. The employer brand lesson across all of this is consistent. In a managed work era, your reputation is shaped by the rules. How clear they are. How fair they feel. how consistently they're applied, and whether people can see a future for themselves inside them. If you want a practical takeaway for this week, it's simple. Audit where uncertainty is being pushed onto employees. Pay rules, promotion criteria, work location expectations, monitoring, skill requirements. Pick one of those and make it legible. Because when people can predict the system, they can cope with change. When they can't, they disengage. Thanks for tuning in to Paper Cut. Don't let Monday catch you off guard. Subscribe now. See you next week.